The Dallas Cowboys running back room has gone through a near-complete transformation during the 2025 offseason. Following the decision to part ways with Rico Dowdle, the Cowboys turned to the free agent market and quickly added both Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, two once promising players hoping for a bounce-back year in a new environment. Then, during the 2025 NFL Draft, Dallas made another notable move, selecting Texas standout Jaden Blue in the 5th round. With 3 new faces in the mix, the position looks crowded on paper. Yet, some analysts believe the job remains unfinished. Among them is Anthony Palacios of Last Word on Sports, who floated a bold but reasonable suggestion: the Cowboys should target Pittsburgh Steelers running back Jaylen Warren as a trade acquisition. According to Palacios, despite the additions of Williams, Sanders, and Blue, the Cowboys lack a dependable and explosive option who could carry a meaningful workload or emerge as a reliable red zone threat. Warren, in his view, represents a stronger and more sustainable solution for Dallas. Despite drafting Jaden Blue, the Cowboys still have an issue in the backfield, and guys like Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders won't make it any better, Palacios wrote. Jerry Jones must do something to address this unit. Warren is a better fit who has a ton of years ahead of him that could carve out a role, even as a backup, to be a viable weapon in the red zone. Warren is a name that might not get top billing in conversations about elite NFL running backs, but those who follow the Pittsburgh Steelers closely understand his importance and impact. Originally signed as an undrafted free agent out of Oklahoma State in 2022, Warren quickly earned the respect of his coaches, teammates, and fan base by bringing a gritty, hard-nosed approach to every snap. Though technically serving as Najee Harris's backup for his first 3 seasons, Warren carved out a role that far exceeded what most expected from an undrafted player. In 2023, he recorded over 1,100 yards from scrimmage, consistently delivering big plays in crucial situations. He averaged 5.6 yards per touch that season and proved to be a capable pass catcher out of the backfield as well. In 2024, with Harris banged up early in the year, Warren saw an uptick in responsibilities and again proved productive, notching 821 total yards and scoring 4 touchdowns, despite operating in an offense that struggled with quarterback inconsistency. Still, his time in Pittsburgh may be nearing an end. Entering the final year of his rookie contract, Warren finds himself on a Steelers roster that just invested a 3rd-round pick in Caleb Johnson, a bruising yet agile back out of Iowa with a reputation for durability and workhorse-level endurance. Johnson, projected by many to become the Steelers' feature back by midseason, brings the kind of profile that has the coaching staff intrigued. It's hard not to see the writing on the wall. If Johnson claims the RB1 role and Warren hits free agency after 2025, Pittsburgh may opt to move on rather than pay him. That's where the Dallas Cowboys come in. The fit, on paper, is logical. Williams and Sanders, while once considered exciting prospects, have each had their share of durability and consistency concerns. Williams, returning from a major knee injury, struggled to regain his previous explosiveness last season. Sanders, meanwhile, has battled through hamstring issues and has yet to match the heights of his 2022 Pro Bowl campaign. Neither has locked up the lead role, and Blue, while promising, is a rookie facing the uphill battle that all late-round picks must climb. Warren, by contrast, is a known commodity. He's not flashy, but he's productive. He's shown an ability to break tackles, pass protect effectively, and catch passes out of the backfield. And perhaps most importantly, he rarely fumbles, something that will undoubtedly appeal to Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. In Schottenheimer's offense, Warren could be deployed in creative ways. As a 3rd down option, he can be motioned out wide, used in screen plays, or positioned to pick up blitzes, a critical role in Dallas' protection-heavy scheme. On early downs, he could split time with Williams or Sanders and serve as the primary red zone option. His versatility is precisely what the Cowboys need in a backfield that still feels incomplete. The biggest hurdle, of course, is the matter of compensation. What would it take for the Steelers to part ways with Warren? Given that he is entering the final year of his deal, the price wouldn't likely be extravagant. A fifth or sixth round pick might be enough to convince Pittsburgh to move him, especially if they are confident in Johnson's development and have depth behind him. The Steelers have historically been willing to part with players a year early rather than a year late if the trade value makes sense and the locker room remains stable. However, the Steelers may also decide to hold on to Warren for the full year. While he might not have a long-term future in Pittsburgh, his presence brings short-term value. Caleb Johnson is still a rookie, and while the team is high on him, betting everything on a first-year back in the AFC North is risky. Warren provides security, a back who can be relied on if the offensive line falters or if Johnson experiences growing pains. From Warren's perspective, a move to Dallas would be a chance to fight for a more prominent role in a high-profile offense. The Cowboys routinely rank among the league's top scoring teams and play behind one of the better offensive lines in football. For a player like Warren, who has had to fight for every snap and every carry, the chance to prove himself in such an environment could be career-defining. And for Dallas, acquiring Warren would send a message that they are serious about fixing the backfield. After letting Tony Pollard walk and missing out on several of the top running backs in the draft, fans and analysts alike have questioned whether the Cowboys have done enough at the position. Adding a player like Warren would not only answer those concerns, but it would also signal a commitment to maximizing every inch of offensive efficiency for the 2025 season. Warren's numbers don't pop off the stat sheet like Christian McCaffrey or Nick Chubb, but for teams looking for value, reliability, and toughness, he checks every box. And in Dallas, he would not be asked to carry the entire load, he would simply be asked to contribute consistently, something he's done well in Pittsburgh. Of course, with any trade, there are always risks. Warren's deal is set to expire after this season, meaning Dallas would either need to be content with a one-year rental or commit to extending him in the coming months. There's also the question of how he would adapt to a new playbook, new teammates, and a new environment in a high-pressure market like Dallas. Still, for the relatively low cost and the upside he brings, it's a move that makes more sense than it doesn't. Ultimately, the Cowboys' running back situation remains fluid. Williams and Sanders are far from guarantees, and Blue may need time to develop. That leaves a wide-open lane for someone like Warren to slide into and make an immediate impact. Whether or not Jerry Jones decides to pull the trigger on a trade remains to be seen, but it's clear the opportunity is there, and it could be the kind of under-the-radar acquisition that makes all the difference come playoff time. For now, Jaylen Warren remains a Pittsburgh Steeler. But with Caleb Johnson poised to take on a bigger role and Warren's contract ticking down, the team may soon face a decision. Do they hold on to him for one last season as insurance? Or do they move on early and extract value while they still can? That answer may ultimately depend on which team is willing to pick up the phone and how badly they want a player who does all the little things right. If that team is the Dallas Cowboys, don't be surprised if Warren finds himself donning the iconic star on his helmet before long.